Okay, class, this is DP1, the class paper for discussion board 1. Now, we're about to go into a cycle of another DB2, DBR2, DP2, and then we're going to do it again later in the semester in a third cycle. Each one builds into a class paper. I am so sorry I didn't make that clear, and I confused you, and then I was confused by what was happening with the papers. I assumed that you were thinking this was teams. The problem was that I've converted from, so we used to run this class in a 7-week residential format. Then I overlaid a 7-week online version of this, and so some of my instructions were from pulling this into a normal online 15-week semester, and in doing that I had to tweak some things, and so one was from team to class and that kind of thing, and I totally bungled that. So you didn't lose anything. I regraded the class paper, and so here it is, and I'm going to go over this. So just for future reference, every DP is class, regardless of where it says a team DP of whatever. I'm sorry for having instructions in there that should not be. It's class, okay? All right, so here we go. Your title page is incredibly clean. Your abstract is clean, and you got the bold correct here. When we get into this, you generally want to start with the title at the very front and header level 1. Good. When you got here, you said leadership is a form of manipulation, allowing the leader to shape the future of those individuals being led. Now, I know some scholars that would disagree with you whether that's really a good definition, but if it is, you should be able to cite it if that's true. In formal writing, you want to be able to cite any assertion, so just for future reference. Here, I see the closed quotes, but I don't see open quotes anywhere above this, so you need to make sure that you're actually doing that. Good. As you move through, is good lines of reasoning. When you got down here, transformational leaders have a place in a new period of leadership. Can a leader be considered transformational leadership as well? You didn't need these 2 lines. They really just don't add any value, so I would have just left it alone. Okay, transformational leadership highlights the importance of leaders demonstrating inspirational motives and concentrating on relationships. Now here, when you get to the end of this, I say this little sign here, I'm saying, you need to subdivide this. This should be a new paragraph. And I don't know why you start with first unless you're in a new paragraph here. Then I said, why highlight? Because when you look at the text, it looks like this with this yellow highlighting in. That was what was turned in the final version. So you need to make sure that your final is actually your final. Let's see. Halpin states, again, you're saying he states. Oh, by the way, when you're referring in formal writing, he stated, he found. It's past tense, unless you're in the part of the research where these are the new findings. But this is 2011. He found. He didn't. He examined. It should be examined. He states should be he stated. And I do this a few times in here. He stated. Okay, so use past tense in formal writing. I know a lot of this is new to you. That's okay. But I want to fix it. I want to help you do this right so you don't lose points in other classes. Here you have, this is a large quote. Any quote that's 40 words or more should become a block quote. Please look that up if you're not familiar with this. Edwards, this should be a new paragraph here. He stated, let's see, what else? Discussed, he continued. And then, again, we had the thing with the highlights. You can't see it in here, but it's in the, it's obvious to me. Correlated, stated, whatever. So a lot of these things were nickel and dime kind of things. You went over my 3 pages, but that's okay. Try not to do that in the future. Stay on your 3rd page. References. Okay, so when you get down to here, retrieve from, not Mendel, CSU, NIV, it should be either the DOI or the journal from which it came or the persistent link. So if you put the persistent link right at the end, I would have accepted that because I asked for the persistent link. The DOI is first, and if you don't have that, you use the journal the journal website. Okay, and I say no points lost, but don't repeat that, so just for future reference. You had some nickel and dime issues here, like I don't know if this is the first name of this guy and you don't have a first name here, or if these are 3 last names and you don't have first initials, or what. Here you have a period and a question mark. You should just have a question mark. Here, capitalize the first word after a colon. Here we had a lot of things. I don't know whose this was, but a lot of improper capitalization that you need to fix, and you need to italicize the name of the journal and the volume number, and you have some of that here as well. So it depends on how I look at this. If I ding you once for doing something wrong, you're okay still. And if I ding you for each instance of it, then you've got some problems, and I would kick this back to you. I'm not going to kick this back to you. We already been through enough trauma with this discussion board. So it'll be a 94. You have some nickel and dime things that need to be corrected here, but I don't see why you shouldn't have a 98, 99, 100 if you do those things. Okay? Thank you for your time. Remember, everything DB is individual. DBR is team. DP is class. All right? Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.